We'll take a look.
20 New York students rush a gunman breaking up a hostage standoff.
From NBC News, this is NBC Nightly News with Tom Brokaw.
Good evening. It's been a tough 24 hours for flying in America. 2 crashes at opposite ends of the country. A commuter plane from Greensboro, North Carolina went down last night in foul weather approaching the Raleigh-Durham airport. And today, a Lear jet hit an apartment building in Fresno in Central California's San Joaquin Valley. The plane went down on approach to the Fresno airport. And as NBC's George Lewis tells us tonight, the Fresno crash created a scene from hell.
A block-long swath of destruction on this street in a modest Fresno neighborhood. When the jet plowed into this apartment complex, the flames spread over a wide area, burning buildings and cars in the street. At least 2 people were killed and 15 were injured. Brent Schweigert of NBC station KSEE was the first reporter there.
The scene was unbelievable. As I walked down to Chestnut and Olive, 2 or 3 blocks down the street here, you can see that the plane hit the ground and skidded all along.
Eyewitness C.W. Curtis said the plane narrowly averted hitting a school in session.
This pilot of the jet that went down should be commended. He made one last-ditch effort, and he almost hit a school, and he went up over these palm trees. There's another flash, and then the plane went down immediately.
Rescue crews took the injured to nearby hospitals, many of the victims in critical condition. The plane, a Lear jet under contract to the California Air National Guard, was coming in from the southeast, attempting to land at the Fresno Air Terminal when it crashed in the surrounding residential area.
The plane was coming down towards the basketball court, and then you seen him go back, and then he flew up, and then he just came straight down.
I seen a lady also who had jumped out from her window onto the ground being helped also. Right. But other than that, there might have been other people trapped in there.
Other witnesses described people throwing babies out of windows. Shortly before the crash, the pilot radioed he had a fire in one of his engines. Investigators will now try to figure out what went wrong. George Lewis, NBC News, Los Angeles.
And in North Carolina, the crash of that commuter plane killing 15 people. It came just as many questions were being raised about the safety of these planes, which fly to smaller cities and remote areas. 2 reports now on the crash of this American Eagle flight, beginning with NBC's Robert Hager in North Carolina.
Investigators cut a road today through thick mud that made access to the crash site extremely difficult. The site where last night the plane broke in 2 on impact and burst into flames. Those who arrived first on scene found survivors in shock. Sue Phillips, a nurse.
They were hurting. You wanted just to hold their hand and do what you could to kind of ease the pain a little bit. Whatever you could to make them feel just a little better. They were cold. There were no blankets. There were no sheets. These folks were just shaking.
Dale Powell.
One gentleman was leaning up against a tree. From what I gathered, he had walked out of the plane. Another gentleman was basically in and out of consciousness. He was half out of the plane, half in the plane.
Among the 12 men and 3 women who died, 70-year-old Pauline Josephson. She'd come from Rhode Island to visit relatives. 23-year-old Brian Kerschel, a well-known sports fisherman. The plane was on approach through fog, rain, and near-freezing temperatures. Controllers cleared it to land. The pilots acknowledged cleared to land. But then the plane disappeared from radar without even a distress call. Investigators will look at weather. The crew could have been trying to come in under the fog. They'll look at icing. An earlier model of this aircraft, a Jetstream 31, had problems with icing on the tail. Icing was involved in 2 previous Jetstream accidents and raised in a 3rd last December when pilots in Hibbing, Minnesota dove through ice to avoid it but failed to level out in time. All told, 44 have died in Jetstream 31 accidents. Investigators will also check for mechanical problems with the engines, wings, or tail. This is the 4th big crash in the U.S. since July, and with government regulators under pressure, Transportation Secretary Federico Pena hurried to the scene.
Well, I want the American people to know that we're doing everything we can to maintain the highest levels of safety in the world.
Pena ordered a 3-point program to speed up the toughening of regulation of commuter airlines, to stage a special one-time safety inspection of all airlines, and to call to Washington airline executives and pilots for a special summit meeting on safety. Robert Hager, NBC News, Morrisville, North Carolina.
This is Jim Cummins in Dallas, where American Eagle is struggling to convince passengers its planes are safe. It was a hard sell with many people at the American Eagle terminal today.
I wouldn't fly American right now, matter of fact.
Another one came down last night, and this morning we had problems. I came from Harrisburg.
Another crash, the second in less than 2 months, the fifth in 7 years. Chicago travel agent Susan Kondo says this airline was in trouble even before last night's crash.
In the past month, they've had many planes cancel off American. They would drive, they would do anything not to fly that small plane.
American Eagle, with 1,900 flights a day carrying 10.4 million passengers last year, is the largest commuter airline and one of the few profitable businesses at AMR Corporation, which includes American Airlines. But since the crash of an ATR turbo in October, American Eagle has been forced to relocate 53 ATRs from cold weather cities, canceling at least 600 flights in Chicago alone, and the airline is scrambling to move crews and planes all over the country.
I would guess that will have to do with tens of millions of dollars by the time this is all over.
So far, American Eagle hasn't said what impact all of its troubles have had on its bottom line. NBC News, Fort Worth.
It's a dark day for commuter travel on the ground as well. Amtrak, the nation's passenger train system, huge cutbacks in service and in workers. Here's NBC National correspondent Bob Kerr.
After losing money for 5 straight years and losing 300,000 passengers last year, Amtrak is cutting service in 15 states and the District of Columbia.
The net result of this will be to eliminate 21% of the train miles that are currently being provided by Amtrak.
This year, the government spent $952 million taxpayer dollars to keep the trains running, and still, Amtrak projects a $200 million deficit. So, eliminated next April, the High from Chicago to Milwaukee, Marquette from Chicago to Grand Rapids, and servicing Saturday in Sacramento. Other will be eliminated: New York to Montreal, Philadelphia to Harrisburg and Atlantic City, to Boston, Detroit to Pontiac and Toledo, Birmingham to Mobile, and St. Louis, Kansas City. In February, several other routes, including New York to Miami and Chicago to Los Angeles, will be cut from daily to 3 times a week. 1 of every 5 Amtrak workers, about 500, will lose their jobs. Bob, NBC News, Washington.
And what now continues in a moment, Harris in Washington, how to cut taxes and also cut the deficit. And tonight as well is baseball's cash per autograph scandal growing. Russia's war within. It's much worse tonight.
You may have made a difference in someone's life. We can't tell you their name or anything about them. We can tell you that by using or being a designated driver like 80 million other Americans, you've made a very real contribution. You see, drunk driving fatalities declined by 32% in the last 10 years. We salute America's designated drivers, and we urge everyone to join you. By doing what's right, you're making things better. Message from Budweiser.
Creations new from Baskin-Robbins.
It kills the germs that cause bad. It fights plaque and the gum infection gingivitis. It's a new feeling, new sensation. New Fresh Burst Listerine.
It wouldn't be the holidays without pie, so today we're going to make an easy from scratch.
Easy? We'll show them easy.
First, gather all your ingredients. Measure, mix, make a ball.
For just unfold, fill, and bake.
For a pie crust that's flaky and tastes like you made it from scratch, follow this simple recipe. Pillsbury refrigerated pie crust.
It's as easy as you know what. Woo-hoo!
President Clinton now is just 1 day away from the speech that he hopes will kickstart his stalled policy. Tonight, he's working out details of his plan to cut middle-class taxes. The big question still, how to pay for that. Here's NBC's Brian Willis.
For the 3rd straight day, this was all we saw of the president, a morning jog before presiding, another budget meeting, this one 2 hours with a dozen aides, a circle of advisors being kept to a small number to avoid big leaks. A senior White House official tells NBC News that tomorrow night's speech will call for significant, serious restructuring of government, that no federal program is exempt, that it will have distinctions between us, the White House, and them, Republicans on Capitol Hill, but that it will contain a commitment to bipartisanship. White House aides still don't know if the speech will be from office or a more relaxed setting like a fireside chat used previously by President Carter. The speech comes just after voters delivered a clear message at the polls. Did the president get it? An NBC News Wall Street Journal poll completed last night and released today shows that when asked, did Clinton get the of November's elections, most voters surveyed, 59% said yes. But when asked to take the lead role in setting policy for the country, 55% said Congress, while only 31% said the president. Pollster Peter Hart.
The overall message is that the voters have not written off Bill Clinton, but at the same time, they've sent a message that says you have a lot of work to do if you're going to come back in our good graces.
And about Congressman Dick Gephardt's tax cut proposal yesterday, upstaging the president 2 days speech. Yesterday, the White House said it was fine with them. Today, that seemed to change. As if to show that Gephardt is not above criticism, an official here today said that while the president and Gephardt need each other, Gephardt bears some responsibility for what happened in November and needs to get his own House of Representatives in order. Tom?
Brian, the president has been getting some mail from the new Republican majority in Capitol Hill as well, I gather.
He has. A letter arrived late this afternoon from Senator Dole and Congressman Rich. It's a 10-point letter detailing suggestions for inclusion in the president's speech tonight. The official White House reaction to the letter is, let's appreciate their input. Unofficially, one person here said, you know, the Republicans are getting to be good pen pals.
Thanks very much. The White House tonight. The tax cut fever may be running high in Washington, but now, according to our latest NBC News Wall Street Journal, people do have a higher priority. Asked which is more important, 58% said reducing the deficit, compared to 35% who said cutting taxes. But how to reduce that deficit? All of official Washington seems to be struggling with the question, as well as how to control the big-ticket entitlement programs like Social Security and Medicare, two programs that voters will defend at almost any cost. Here's NBC's Lisa Myers.
The commission set up to deal with the politically sensitive programs, today, in the words of one critic, wimped out. The chairman had made bold recommendations in spending and keep retirement programs solvent, proposing lower Social Security benefits for future retirees, higher Medicare premiums, pushing back eligibility for full Social Security and Medicare benefits to 70. But there was so little support, Senator Bob didn't even put the plan to a vote. One member lamented the committee's lack of courage.
We are protecting ourselves at the expense of our children.
A frustrated Senator John Danforth said the problem will not get solved until voters demand it.
The American people are going to have to decide whether they're going to face for reality.
The latest NBC News poll found that hasn't happened yet. The poll found overwhelming support for a constitutional amendment to balance the budget, 68% for, 9% against. But when asked about the cuts required to balance the budget, 20% cuts in programs such as Medicare, Medicaid, and veterans benefits, Americans changed their mind, only 33% for and 61% against. Kerry said the public must beware of feel-good proposals like middle-class tax cuts.
But if a tax cut makes the 30 years worse, I will not only vote for it, I will work very hard to say to Americans, don't buy this pig in a poke.
Today's poll will produce stomach aches among Republicans. Senate Republicans already worried about a backlash when voters realize just how painful paying for tax cuts balancing the budget actually will be. Lisa Myers, NBC Capital.
National economy now. There is good news tonight on inflation. Consensus in November were up 0.3%. That means that for the third year in a row, the annual inflation rate is below 3%. Wall Street rallied today. The Dow was up more than 30, very heavy trading. The NASDAQ index up more than 6 points. When we come back here in a moment, Darryl Strawberry under indictment and other baseball players investigation for tax evasion.
Oh, this is great. It's perfect. Yes, there is a Santa, the Norelco Santa. Come to town with great gift ideas for the holidays, like the Maverick beard and mustache trimmer, for just the look he wants. The Norelco Speed Razor, for close and comfortable to go. Or Santa's favorite, the Norelco Triple Header, for our closest shave ever. The perfect gifts for the perfect look. Norelco brings you closer for the holidays.
So, Larry, I bought this Raisin Nut brand. I was expecting lots of raisins. Didn't see a one. And I discovered these. Whoa. Turns out, Larry, they weren't plain raisins. They were raisins. So soft, so plump, so sweet. Delicious. That's what I said. Come on, Larry. We gotta tell the world.
Have you discovered covered raisins? Only in Raisin Nut brand.
Some days, I get these really pounding headaches. I used to take Tylenol, but it didn't always get rid of all the pain. So I've been using Advil for a while now. I found that on my tough headaches, 2 Advil work better than 2 extra-strength Tylenol tablets. Better than extra-strength Tylenol caplets. Better than Tylenol gel caps. And you know, nothing's been proven to last longer than Advil. For my tough headaches, Advil just works better. Advil, advanced medicine for pain.
Darryl Strawberry was in court today pleading not guilty to chargeable income tax evasion. This is already a practice said to be popular among Major League Baseball players. Failure to report money earned from those promotional appearances, like signing autographs. NBC's Pete Williams tonight with more on what appears to be a growing scandal.
Giants right fielder Darryl Strawberry wasn't giving autographs today, just fingerprints. He pleaded not guilty to charges that he failed to report $500,000 in income from appearances and endorsements. His lawyer says Strawberry is innocent.
We hope that there is a 1995 season, and we certainly hope that Darryl is a full participant in that season.
NBC News has learned that 9 other current and former Major League players are also under investigation. The common link is baseball memorabilia shows, where players are paid thousands to sign autographs.
A source close to the investigation tells NBC News that federal agents gathered evidence at a baseball show about 2 years ago by secretly tape recording players who asked to be paid in cash with no records to the IRS.
Baseball merchandise has become a multi-billion-dollar industry with fees irresistible to players. A baseball autograph by Joe DiMaggio can fetch up to $200. Investigators say he is careful to report all his income. And one dealer says there's a legitimate reason players want payment in cash.
Every major athlete will tell you that they've walked away from at least one show where they haven't been paid or the check bounced.
But one reason investigators are cracking down is that players were warned during spring training 5 years ago about the hazards of not reporting income. One accountant with Major League clients tells NBC News the practice was growing, but he says with the charges against Strawberry, that's soon to change. The investigation will continue for at least another 6 months. Pete Williams, NBC News, Washington.
There's more unwelcome news tonight for Major League Baseball fans, putting next year's season at risk. Talks between owners and players have broken off. The owners say they're now ready to impose a cap on player salaries when they meet tomorrow in Chicago. The latest O.J. Simpson trial. Sources tell NBC News that prosecutors have found photos reportedly showing Nicole Simpson bruised and injured from a 1989 beating by her then-husband, O.J. Simpson. Police, with a search warrant, got those photographs by drilling open Nicole Simpson's safe deposit box. Tomorrow, there will be a hearing on whether these pictures will be admitted into evidence. And we have a follow-up now on a story broadcast last night on Dateline NBC. Producers of the well-known reading system called Hooked on Phonics today reached agreement with the federal government to stop misleading advertising about what this program can deliver. And a program note of our own. We had planned a report tonight on causes and cures of teenage violence. However, breaking news took precedent. We will have that story for you in the near future. And when we come back here in a moment, Russia has a fight on its hands. Guerrilla warfare, now in a nasty civil war.
I never wanted to grow up, much less get older. A daughter? Even the word used to scare me. Now I have commitments. That she will have an education. That my parents will always be okay. Love is expensive.
Take control of your future. A plan from Merrill Lynch can show you how. And a Merrill Lynch financial consultant has more ways to make the plan work for you than anyone else. The difference is planning. The difference is Merrill Lynch.
You build a razor with a precision groove to help the Norelco lift and cut system shave closer than ever before. And what do you get? The Norelco razor, our closest shave ever.
Warms my soul. I'm getting married. I'm getting married.
Whoever heard of a cold cereal that made you feel warm all over?
Daddy, what are you doing? doing?
Same as always.
Fixing me breakfast?
Why should today be different?
Quaker toasted oatmeal. Delicious toasty flakes with crunchy little oatmeal oats on top. Quaker toasted oatmeal.
Yes, it's cold, but it warms my soul.
My new denture adhesive is polygrip free. It has no artificial flavor to interfere with foods or drinks. No artificial colors either. It holds my denture so tight, I can even eat this apple, thanks to polygrip free.
1,000 layers may be a slight exaggeration, but not by much. The Olive Garden presents the Mille Strati, layer after layer. More of the delicious, good, fresh foods you love. It all stacks up to our lasagna you simply can't get anywhere else. The sensational Mille Strati, only at the Olive Garden Italian restaurant. Give Olive Garden gift certificates and give everyone good taste this season.
Your holiday shopping. The rack says reduced, but the scanner rings up full price. Is it just a mistake, or are you being ripped off? Dateline investigates Friday.
Overseas now to the civil warfare between Russia and its breakaway Republic of Chechnya. What was nasty yesterday got uglier today, and NBC's John Dancy remains in the war zone tonight.
This is what the Russians are up against. A helicopter was shot down today, shot down by small arms fire. The 2 pilots killed. The Russian army retaliated with machine gun and rocket fire as Chechen women and children huddled in shelters. Meanwhile, peace talks stalled as Chechen President Dudayev called on his people to wage guerrilla war. To understand what this is about, you have only to visit a Chechen village like Cernovodsk. Hatred of the Russians runs deep. This car was shot up today by Russian soldiers. 2 people wounded, one losing. A Chechen fighter says the Russians are guilty of aggression. The Chechens say they want to be left alone in peace and to be... Down the street at the House of Culture, young men are cleaning up and preparing for war. Visit the graveyard with a village elder like Magdan, and he will tell you of World War II when the Russians deported the whole village to Siberia and took away gravestones to build bridges. Meanwhile, more graves are being filled. 6 people from the area around the village have been killed by the Russians. They're being buried in simple Muslim ceremonies. And the hatred of the Russians is being passed from generation to generation.
So now the funerals have begun, an indication that this war will be nasty, brutal, and not... John Dancy, NBC News in Cernovodsk, Chechnya.
And there's word tonight that former President Jimmy Carter will be trying to help bring peace to Bosnia. NBC's Andrea Mitchell has learned that President Clinton has talked to Carter twice this week about Carter's plans to travel to Sarajevo to undertake peace talks. White House officials stress, however, that Carter will make the trip as a private citizen, not as an official government representative. And there's more trouble for the U.S. Navy in a sex harassment case tonight. 4 instructors at the training academy in San Diego will face court-martial on charges of sex harassment and fraternization with recruits. Female trainees have accused the instructors of demanding sex for better grades. Back in this country as well, the lights are back on in 11 western states tonight after a power failure left nearly 2 million people in the dark. In California alone, 1 million were without electricity. The cause? A still unexplained power surge on the West Coast main transmission line. And we couldn't resist these pictures tonight from Christmas Island in Australia. No, this is not some cheap science fiction movie. It's the annual redland crab migration from their burrows in the rainforest to the ocean. This is the crustacean version of a rush hour. When we come back in a moment, this man holds students hostage, but they say no way.
Now, one pain reliever offers more for arthritis sufferers. Motrin IB.
I like the fact that Motrin IB works fast and right where my arthritis hurts. I trust Motrin IB because I know how long doctors have been recommending it.
Motrin IB is much gentler on my stomach than aspirin. It's also sodium-free.
The fast cap package opens just like that.
Motrin IB. For arthritis sufferers, it all adds up to a better brand of pain reliever.
Finally, great microwave popcorn.
Presto Power Pop Microwave Malted Popper pops virtually every kernel. Pop with oil, pops without oil. Nothing pops like Power Pop.
And outside my name to that.
From Presto. How about some cheese for your pizza or perfect salad shooter hash browns for breakfast? Vegetables sliced or shredded, and nothing tops a salad like Slicer Shredder from Presto.
It's time for a brand new pain reliever that lasts longer than even your tough pains. The pain reliever is new Tylenol Extended Relief. With its unique bi-layer capsule, the first layer gives you fast relief now, and the second works continuously so it can last all day. It's the longest-lasting Tylenol ever, so tough pain goes away and stays away longer. New Tylenol Extended Relief. The pain goes away, the pain stays away, all day. It's a pain reliever whose time has come.
Come on, Larry. Let's make this guy's morning. Excuse me, sir. What do you notice about this Raisin Nut brand?
It doesn't have any raisins.
Look again. You're looking for plain raisins, but Raisin Nut brand has covered raisins.
They're soft.
Yeah?
Plump.
And?
Sweet. I love them.
That's what I said. Come on, Larry.
Have you discovered covered raisins?
That boy's crazy.
Crazy for Raisin Nut brand, sir!
American Eagle Flight 3379 went down on a rainy night. As investigators probe the scattered wreckage, we'll talk with a man who survived the crash tomorrow on Today.
A gunman today took a class hostage at a state university campus in Albany, New York. It was a Greek classics class, and the students took their lessons from Sparta. NBC's Rahima Ellis.
The gunman, 26-year-old Ralph Tortorici, a psychology student with a prior criminal record. He was taken into custody at State University of New York's Albany campus. The arrest came after holding 35 students and a professor hostage for 2 hours. Police say he was demanding to speak to the president of the university, President Clinton, the governor, not saying why, and carrying a high-powered rifle.
This was a real potential tragedy, and we had enough ammunition for all of the kids who were in the room.
The hostage drama began around 9:30 in the morning. SWAT teams surrounded the building and began negotiations. But it was the students, the hostages, who overpowered the gunman as he tried to flee. Jason McInerney was hit in the abdomen in the struggle for the gun. He's listed in serious condition.
Jason went at him first for the gun. 2 rounds, one hit him. Another one was fired on the way down. Jason went down. Jason is a hero.
People are fed up with what's going on in society, and I think it's wonderful that they're taking action and standing up for themselves.
Crime on this campus of 17,000 is not unusual. Students say there have been several muggings, but no one expected a crime like this.
I was never scared to go to class before. I thought that's where I'd be safe.
Today on campus, students said no to a gunman, and what could have been a tragedy was prevented. Rahima Ellis, NBC News, Albany, New York.
That's Nightly News for Wednesday. I'm Tom Brokaw. See you tomorrow night.
NBC News, now more than ever. 'Tis the season to be stealing. Shoplifters are robbing billions from businesses and your pet. What's the solution? Get close. Get answers on NBC Nightly News tomorrow.
Tonight at NBC Christmas Traditions.
Bob, your early Christmas present host.
Join Bob and Tony Bennett, stars from Grace Under Fire, hanging with Mr. Cooper, the AP All-America team, plus the funniest moments from the past 40 years.